Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. Bob Sales this time's next year. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about Jurassic Park. See, we've got the Jurassic World Domination AMC Theatres digital collectible, which happens to be 3 movie posters. As you can see, they're the 3 rarities there. I must say the third rarity, the rare one, is definitely the best one. Not only because it's the rare, but definitely the best dinosaur, in my opinion, from the franchise, well known. Only thing is with this dinosaur, it never did have quills like that, and it never did spit any sort of venom or anything like that. So it's completely wrong, but nonetheless a favourite among many. And no spoilers, but you might actually see it again. As you can see, they're the edition sizes, so not too bad. Now I can imagine some of them will get burnt. Now could they be the edition sizes for everywhere? Because as you see on the store here, you can see there's one for Germany, one for Italy, and I assume that one's America. So we've got 3 different rarities here. See if there's any more on here. So as you can see, the uncommon for the Italy one, there's only 3 listed so far. Crazy prices for them ones. As you can see, the same one here, but for Germany is 44. So 44 gems here for this one, but 900 for the other one. Now this is the one I expect to be big money. Ooh, number 46. That has got to be the lowest mint number I've ever seen. 046. So I was a little bit worried about this drop, I must admit. I was worried we would get more dinosaurs, maybe some different dinosaurs. I thought maybe we might get this third rarity dinosaur as a collectible. So that was what I was mainly worried about, because if it was, it may have devalued what we already had, the T-Rex. Right now the T-Rex is on 48 gems, so it's actually gone up 5 gems, I would say, overnight. But as you can see, it's only going to start going up from here. Now the common T-Rex, obviously this one's just a standalone one, doesn't have any animation. As you can see, someone's cell walling them. Shock horror. This is the main problem with the app, the cell walls. With the cell walls, people are dumping underneath it, and the constant cell walls are always keeping the price down. That is one of the main problems with VEVE right now. Every single market has about 10 cell walls on it, keeping the price low. But as you can see, this one's still 14 gems, so that's still really cheap. Okay, it don't move about, but you've paid worse. Toby was more, 4 was more, Electra was more. You definitely had worse for the money. So let's take a look at the ultra rare. As you can see there, the ultra rare started pumping. I knew I should have picked one of them up sooner. Now I did want to take a look at the new Avengers. So this is a new comic. Obviously I've got the common. Got some really nice covers here, some nice artwork. That ultra rare is really fire. Look at it, it's 18 gems. That's crazy stackable right now. 18 gems. That has got to be one of the lowest. And for that artwork, Doctor Strange, Iron Man, Professor X. Let's take a look at the secret. The secret's 50 gems. Oh my god, that has got to be the lowest secret rare I've ever seen in my life. You rarely see a secret rare go under 100 gems. And even 100 gems was cheap. Before we used to pay 600-700. Looking at that, that actually breaks my heart. The common's down to 2 gems. So we're nearly getting to the point where we have $1 comic. I'll be honest, I'm not too worried about it. Obviously my investment's gone down. My investment was I would say 3k. Now it's down to 1.1. That is the lowest I've ever seen it, by the way. That is crazy cheap. Everyone's saying it's not a Grail comic, it's not nothing like that. But look at the cover. The cover alone's worth that. Got so many superheroes on there. I'm a bit biased, it's got Wolverine on there, and as you're well aware by now, I love Wolverine. Now we have Alpha Flight today, the Canadian comic book. The first Alpha Flight we had was 10,000 copies, so it was relatively small for our drops on VEVE anyway, so it held a bit more value. I think it started at about 30-40 gems if I'm not mistaken at that time there. As you can see by the description, the classic landmark moment that North Star publicly announced that he was gay. Now, I'm not sure if that's going to be everyone's cup of tea, if that's going to put any people off, or if it's going to get more people in. That is to be seen. But judging by the HRO cards, I can see this not selling out. It's maybe the first comic not to sell out in a day. As you can see by my screen there, it's 3 o'clock here, so the drop's in the next hour. So we'll see how that prediction goes. I mean, as you can see there, I did actually get 3 of these packs. I really wish I hadn't have done. I did open one of the packs. I did get a couple of low digit cards, but apart from that, I think they're all commons. But again, is it the subject matter why this didn't sell out? Or is it just the state of the cards? Now, if you go to the cards, now I must say, they're probably the worst cards I've ever seen in my life. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, there's a lot of weird cards in here. Nothing wrong with the subject matter, of course. But yeah, as you can see, most of them cards are pretty much the same. And the artwork itself is pretty plain, pretty boring, if I'm honest. I mean, there's not much details. Whereas the first ones were pretty cool cards, all look really unique. Whereas these ones are unique, definitely, but not looking like they're going to be well sought after. And of course, the price is failing, like always. So the price is really not doing well for these cards at the minute. They can only go up, in my opinion. But right now, you can actually buy the packs off the market for lower than the box price. That's how bad these packs are selling. Now, the packs before, they were only selling for 200 at first, and then I think they went down to 100. Sat there for a bit. They've obviously gone down a bit more because people were FOMO into new packs. Here, let's take a look at the Invisible Iron Man comic. Fairly new release here. As you can see, I only own one of these at the minute, so I should own more, definitely. But right now, I'm so out of gems. I've already put my limit in for this month, so I definitely need to hold off till next month before putting any more gems in. That's just my situation. So as you can see, the common's doing 6 gems. So not overly bad at the minute, but definitely not the right value. Definitely should be higher. Again, you can see all the problems with the sale walls. Just looking, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just off the top of the list there. There's 5 sale walls lowering the prices. And as you can see, they start from 650, probably start lower than that. Yeah, so they start at 7 gems there, as you can see, and then go all the way down to 6 gems. So they're knocking it down slowly. But considering the rest of the comics, it's actually holding its value, the common. Not its value, but you know what I mean. It's selling a little bit under box price. Whereas everything else right now selling pretty much under box price, 100%. We'll take a look at the uncommon. The uncommon 6 gems are the same as the common. That does happen quite a lot. Or it did a couple of months ago anyway. I think it's down to the colour version not being as good on the eye. As I said before, I do reckon they should do 5 different editions, no the same covers. Because I don't like the fact that they just change the title or the background or make it colourless. It just makes it boring in my opinion. It works for some covers, but not this one. Let's take a look at the rare. The rare 17 gems, so that's still cheap. The ultra rare is 47 gems, so that's still cheap. I mean, for the ultra rares at the minute, they're selling so undervalued. And for the MCP points you'll be getting. But let's take a look at the secret out of interest. So the secret's 200. So the secret's going up, I would say. As you can see, it's a fairly new comic. The floor's 38 there. And as you can see, it goes up there quite dramatically. But that'll be around 200-300 for a week or so until the next 10 are sold out. Now I will show you MYX, because like I was talking about, the coloured common and the uncommon. Now with this one, the actual uncommon works really well. The black and white version of this one actually looks really good. And it's 10 gems, whereas the common's 6 gems. So it's definitely holding a bit more value than the common. Out of interest, we'll check the secret rare. There's only 18 of these available. Not the best cover in my opinion. And it's 175, so that's quite cheap. And as you can see, that's a very thin floor right there. So that price could dramatically go up. Or there could be more listings once the price starts going up of people selling out. Now, as mentioned on the AMA yesterday, the drops, there are some drops that have not sold out. So the common Harley Quinn, for example, is still available. That's actually a really nice collectible there. My favourite one out of the bunch. Although we don't really do collectibles, but T-Rex is a different level collectible. As you can see, the uncommon's still available too. There's still a lot of editions left as well. And the rare is still available. Now the rare don't surprise me, I'll be honest, because it is butt ugly. But the collectible itself does look like this, the actual figure. But yeah, for me, that one's butt ugly. So the only one that's actually sold out is the ultra rare. you go to the market and it's already under box price. So it's 65 gems already. I really don't understand this with blind boxes. You get to pick your rarity, and then I still don't understand how you manage to sell it under. As you can see by this one, we've still got the moonflower thing. In my opinion, it's a cabbage. The most awful drop I think we've had on the app. Just as bad as Toby. In fact, I think Toby was better. I had a feeling this one wouldn't sell out. I mean, for 77 gems, now that is expensive. So you can pay 77 gems for the moonflower cabbage thing, or you can pay 50 gems for a T-Rex. Which one would you choose? Again, that's just an example of VEVE changing the box prices. So VEVE is starting to realise the sentiment, started to realise less people are going for the drops, willing to risk the money. And in my opinion, they changed this box price. I would have said this would have been way more if we weren't in the current market. So VEVE are definitely listening to what's going on. So VEVE did just say in the last AMA that they're not overly worried about the drops not selling out instantly. Their plan was always to have a store and always to have drops in the store. They never expected anything to sell out instantly like it did, every drop. And they said that the fact that they're not selling out instantly, or it's taking 24 hours, is not an issue. Now with the case of the Harley Quinn, the Moonflower, and I think there's a couple of others on there, they haven't actually sold out yet. But VEVE are not overly worried about this. Let's face it, like the guy said, they're making enough money on NFTs. They're selling loads of NFTs. But the fact that we're not selling out in 24 hours does not mean VEVE's dead. As you're probably aware, we had the VEVE AMA, like I said.
KYC is obviously payout. In order to have any kind of payout feature, KYC has to be in place, which is why we're rolling that out first. And the payout gets rolled out to production early next week. And again, we will basically be inviting anyone who is in the KYC beta group who has passed KYC and meets the criteria of the payout, as in the minimum number of gems, etc., will be invited directly into the payout beta. So just as an incentive, if you do get invited into the KYC beta, please go through the whole process, because you will more than likely be invited into the payout beta as well. And now that we are getting further down the track with the development of our payout solution, I am quite excited to let the community know that with our payout feature, there will actually be a number of different options. Number one, you can pay out in fiat, obviously, which we've always had in place, but there will also be various crypto options that you can pay out in as well. That includes things like USDT, Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc. I believe we've got a list of about 5 to start off with, and then we can look to add more over time. So I think that's a really good feature and option for our user base, just to give them the flexibility.
The biggest thing there was the KYC and the cash out. Now, if you don't take part in the KYC, you will not be able to participate in the drops. You will not be able to use the market. You will not be able to do anything literally on the VEVE app without the KYC being implemented. So be very careful for that and be ready for that. Now, I currently don't have a passport because I need one updating. So I actually need to do that now rather than wait. But I was going to do it anyway, but that's just an example of how it could affect people. But apparently the first people that had the beta app will be the first person to get the payout options. Once you're invited to this, you do need to fulfill it. Otherwise, straight away you won't get anything. You won't get any drops. You won't be able to participate in anything. Overly happy with yesterday's AMA. A lot of people have been waiting for the MTL, the cash out function, me not included. I'm not actually waiting for that. For me, VEVE's more like a savings account. But at the same time, it's a savings account you know could go up or down. You could lose it all or you could gain. So you've got to keep that in mind when you're using it like the way I am. So as I say, thank you for being here. I've been your host, Bob Sells. This time next year, we will be millionaires. A peace.